Woo! What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at My Cowboys Family. And of course, hop in the Discord, link for that's in the description box down below. And guys, as we get rolling here with the last night of the week, as we wrap things up, of course, you know, the draft dust has fully settled. You know, we have some undrafted guys joining us, some other guys on the horizon, and of course, Jerry's favorite time ever. We get to start picking up guys without it affecting our compensation picks.
Yeah,
so, we're going to get to that in a second here, of course. But first, we have to shout out the people representing here on the MCF side of things, making MCF happen here on the Daily and the Nightly. Thank you very much to the sponsor of the week.
The man.
McLovin.
You know it.
Showing the love.
Yeah, back-to-back on the sponsor of the week board, just like our 90s Cowboys. But he ain't stopping there. McLovin also the man on the Cash App. The crown for 2 straight weeks back-to-back, like our 90s Cowboys. So appreciate Mr. McLovin there. Also, much love to Zachary Carrasco, who's got 30 points, hanging on in the red zone there, hanging on with 30 points. Is anybody taking that over? I don't know. And when you look at the above board there, when it comes to the gifting membership board, much love to Jason Renfro, who is also repping it like our Dallas Cowboys of the 90s, back-to-back like them. So when they go for a three-peat, he is in the lead. He only has 1 gifted membership. He holds on to that. He gets 3 weeks of domination on the gifting membership board. We'll see what happens. Still got this last stream for tonight. And when you look at the overall board, you might have seen his name already. The leader this week on both the Cash App board and the sponsor of the week kind of leaderboard deal, it is SCO971, who may be winning tonight. His first ever, Cash App and sponsor of the week. Full takeover. If he does that, he also is in our monthly raffle. We'll talk about that in a minute. So much love to SCO971. Jason Renfro leading the way there on both those boards, 3 boards, and Zachary Carrasco also showing up there for this week. We'll see what happens at the end of tonight and who's crowned champion. But baby, there's a lot of ways of dropping the love. We have the After Dark way of dropping the love here. We also had some pre-stream drops from Jason Renfro through the Cash App, $1.15 in the Go Cowboys, and also Skeptical Fan with a $3.16 drop in the PayPal side of things with a big thumbs up and a Go Cowboys. So much love to them kicking it off tonight here. But there's super chats ways of dropping the love on YouTube. There's a thanks button. You can jump in the membership. You can gift memberships. But there's 4 other ways you can attack the Cash App side of things, as well as the overall board. But the Cash App side, baby, why don't you let them know the other ways of them trying to catch domination there?
Well, you have, of course, the Cash App money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
That's right. And don't forget, next week sometime we're going to have the Star and Over Everything level membership monthly jersey raffle right here. So stay tuned for that. If you want to have a chance to win, all you got to do is be in the Star level membership or the Over Everything level membership, like Seabass, who gets 2 entries. If when we have this raffle, he's still in those on that level. Same thing with the Star level members. And if you don't want to be in the membership, you want to somehow get into this thing, all you got to do is win one of these big, kind of weekly winner awards or whatever it may be, specifically Cash App / sponsor of the week, like McLovin has for 2 straight weeks. He has his name in there twice, and SCO971 might have his name in there as well. The weekly winners also get put in to this monthly jersey raffle. So we'll see what happens. Looking forward to that. That's coming next week. And let's shout out those people in the Star and Over Everything level membership side of things.
That's right. Thank you very much, Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Dwayne Broussard, Marissa Sparkle, Choctaw Montana 808, The Lunatic, and Over Everything.
Yeah.
Seabass.
Mr. Over Everything right now. And speaking of other guys in that list you just read, The Lunatic, we just had the draft. Dust is settling, not settled yet. We're going to have some rookie OTAs coming up here next week. So this is still going to kind of be the feel of this, guys. You can get into this, the Lunatic jersey raffle. 2 jerseys two jerseys going to be raffled off, 1 apiece to 2 separate winners. Your choice of whatever we have, about 30 or 40 different Cowboy jerseys. If you're a fan of another team and you're in this thing, yeah, you can actually pick from pretty much any other team. We have 32 teams, all sports, that kind of stuff. Whatever's available, you get to choose from. course, no one's ever chosen anything but a Cowboy jersey. But new and old, a lot of different styles, sizes, eras, Hall of Famers and new players to pick from. I'm going to have 2 winners, each winning a jersey, sewn and stitched, authentic, like the whole thing, representing day 1, day 2 of this draft. So we're going to have this raffle in a couple of weeks, but you guys can still build your raffle entries and have a better chance throughout the next couple of weeks. This week already has it started, but also in the next week or 2. Whenever we decide to do this raffle, we'll add up all the totals, and whatever you have, donated or dropped here, it will go towards this raffle. And how do we figure that out, baby? How do we get the numbers for this thing? It's going to be over a span of like 2 or 3 weeks. We already have it. We had it started last Sunday, so this is our 8th day of having it available. So how do they get into this raffle? How can they improve their chances of winning one of these jerseys? And also, what are some of the perks in the membership for this?
Of course, if you drop $10, bam, you're automatically entered. And yes, membership has its perks, because once you are in the raffle, if you're an MCF member, you get an additional bonus entry. But let's say you just want to keep stacking your entries. Well, every additional 10, bam, the entries just keep on stacking. Yep. So unlimited entries.
Yeah, so that's the way it goes. And then the more entries you have, the better chances you have to win the thing. By the way, we also had, and I think right now Jason Renfro and Chalked Up Montana, I think those are the 2 guys right now fighting for that top spot. Remember, it does not matter if you're in the After Dark session dropping the love. It won't accumulate. It accumulates here, but it will not give you raffle entries. Only the ones you're getting are the ones you drop here on the show. And, the more the merrier, the more people, the more fun it's going to be for this raffle.
That's right.
And big shout outs to the Lunatic for making this thing happen. Much love to him. And everybody in the raffle right now. Mm-hmm. Good luck to all. And when we announce the day of the draft, the day of the raffle for these draft day jerseys, we'll let you know. And we'll let you know, how many each person has as far as raffle entries, blah, 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 and go Cowboys. So now that we're through all that stuff, let's talk about who's in the chat tonight and give those shout outs.
Shout out to Edward, what's up? James Payne, hello and hi. Jason Renfro, much love. Kelvin Bilbo, hello, what's up? El Cool in the house. Revelation Journalist, thanks for rolling on through. Icy Dirtbag, it's been a little while since Joe Looney has been a Dallas Cowboy, so no, he's not our center.
He's retired.
So, let me see. Toxic Splenda Papi, what's up? Oh, Brandon J.S., hello and hi. Dustin Roberts, what's up with you? And by the way, guys, no, I do want to clarify something. If you guys heard that Zeke was signed today, that rumor is wrong. I do want to make that 100,010% clear. Now, we could wake up tomorrow morning and Zeke Elliott is signed at 8 a.m. on the dot. But as of right this second, no, not officially
Zeke
signed on the dotted line.
But we do have an update.
So, I know, just want to make that 100% clear.
Yeah. No Zeke on the Cowboys yet.
Apocalyptic Cowboy, what's up? Hello and hi. Choice Roberts, much love. Stephen White representing Dannyberry Sports. Hope you're having a great Sunday as well. Hey, remember, it's one Sunday closer to NFL football being back. So, just want to make sure I didn't miss anyone. Smodius in the house, much love to you. Hector Colon, hello and hi. Skeptical fan always. Staying skeptical, who, by the way, did have a pre-stream drop. Shout out to you.
And Jason Renfro, too.
Yep, Jason Renfro, much love. Freedom first, not first today, but almost. Texas Twister, stay safe out there on the road. Raul in the house, what's up? Rolando Rodriguez. So I think that's everybody here so far. We'll keep on rolling with the shout outs as more people come in, but baby,
let's get going.
Right to it. Yeah.
Let's get into the NFL news right now, right off the bat. And scary situation for Houston Texans wide receiver, guy we talked about here last year, I think, Tank Dell. Good receiver, young guy from the Houston Texans, was today a victim, or last night was a victim of a shooting. Sunday morning, / Saturday night, Sunday morning, sustained a minor wound, thank goodness, and has been released from the hospital. So that's great news there. You got to remember, this happened Saturday night, Sunday morning. He sustained minor wounds in Florida, so our home state here, and, was a victim and an innocent bystander in a mass shooting that happened in a nightclub up in, I think it happened in Daytona Beach, where is his hometown there. So, again, or Stanford, I'm sorry. So, look, Stanford, I'm sorry. So, the thing is this, guys, been released from the hospital, expected to make a full recovery. He was not involved in any of the altercations. So, before you say, oh, these guys started,
no. Just chilling And partying, which is perfectly allowed.
He was caught in the crossfire. And it was a 16-year-old that was arrested after the shooting of 10 people in this club, in this event, in an unincorporated Sanford area shortly after midnight Sunday morning. One of the many people hit, of course, was Tank Dell, football player, who is from native Daytona Beach Inn. I don't know how you say that, but 10 people suffered non-life-threatening injuries, thank goodness. And, the place, which is called Cabana Live, 100% safe. Appreciate, all the thoughts and all that stuff. But this is the 12th mass shooting in Florida so far this year. And that's slightly better than last year, which had 13 by this time. So, yay, I guess.
Really unfortunate.
In Florida, where we're at. So, yeah, that sucks. Anyways, other NFL news. The Eagles, they just can't stop making moves. That's why they got Harry. That's why Howie Roseman is better than the Joneses by far. I don't care which Cowboy content creator bullshits you, but don't buy the bullshit. Howie Roseman is much better than the Cowboys front office. And, all these moves he's made, they got into 2 Super Bowls and won one. I'd take that. Because for 29 years, we haven't got even to the NFC Championship game. So, Joneses are the problem. Howie Roseman would be a great person to have on this side when it comes to running the GMing side of things with Will McClay. Woo, that'd be good. It's a dream that will never come true. So, the Eagles, why am I talking about? The Eagles signed another offensive lineman and getting veteran help on a good player, Mekhi Becton, former Jets first-round draft choice. Now he's signing a 1-year deal with the Eagles worth only $5.5 million. That's it, $5.5 million. Pending a physical, which will be done tomorrow. The expectation, he's going to be their swing tackle. So, they paid $5.5 million for a fantastic swing tackle. We paid vet minimum for Chuma Edoga. That is our swing tackle. Just want to show you we're playing with stuff. We play around, and you see how we do things and build things, and very weakened when you get to some of these positions, when you see other teams like the Eagles and their front office, making the moves to truly strengthen them throughout their depth. So, I hate it. I hate that they're doing it, but it is a low risk, high reward deal. And I wish the Cowboys would have tried something like this. That's in the range. It's under $6 million. I'm not saying with this player, but any players. The Cowboys, just they don't want to spend any money. So, as we know, it's the clown show with them. But the money, the history with these offensive line developments now in Jeff Stoutland's kind of the offensive line coach for the Eagles. He's going to be, he's really got great guys to work with once again. After the last 2 years, they're really having the best offensive line in the league. They lost some players, a center, Jason, Kelsey. They're replacing these guys, and they keep replacing them and signing them, and they're not afraid. So they're doing whatever it takes to solidify their team. Now, what about free agents? Well, no signings really. The Eagles signed Mekhi Becton. They probably got to lose a compensation pick for that because tomorrow, Monday, April 29th, at 4 p.m. Eastern, so not before but after 4 p.m. Eastern time, free agents that sign with a new team will not count towards the compensatory draft pick formula, which is what Jerry Jones and especially Stephen Jones come about. They love not giving up comp picks. So, and I say that, we have 5 guys on the comp list, and I think the only guy that would not hit it was Jonathan Hankins. He was the 6th guy on that list. He did not make it, but we only could get 4. So we could afford to lose one if we wanted to, because we'd lose our 7th rounder, and we lose the 5th comp pick, which we can't get anyways. But the Cowboys will wait as long as it possibly can and not spend any money at all. So,
of course they will.
Here's some of the biggest free agents still left in the NFL. Listen, there's still a loaded amount of free agents in this entire, in the NFL and in a lot of positions. So let me just go through some names. At tight end, Logan Thomas, Robert Tonyan Jr. Both guys, we don't need tight ends. Trust me, especially after today's undrafted signing. No tight ends needed for our team. Now, offensive tackles, I still like David Bakhtiari. Just as a fallback veteran that you can get for cheap. If we can do that, I am in. He's banged up and injured and he's old. But he still is manageable and can do stuff. Although, because I believe we already have, Chuma Edoga. That's probably, they're equal to a veteran star like David Bakhtiari. Formerly of the Packers, still a free agent. Also, DJ Humphrey still out there on the offensive tackle side of things. Offensive line, Adrius Pete. Connor Williams, his medicals are not good. That's why he's still out there. And Dalton Reisner, which we discussed last year, he supposedly had issues with medical, but he was fine last year when he played. So for the Vikings, I think it was. So He's still out there if you wanted a guard of some sort. Receivers, you got Tyler Boyd, and you got Odell Beckham Jr. still out there. Yeah. Also, Michael Thomas, former star of the New Orleans Saints, now just an afterthought. So those are the 3 receivers out there. Now we talk about defense, and we look at defensive tackle. This is a spot where I think the Cowboys will go in his free agency, and I really love Calais Campbell. I know he's old, but he's big. He's still hard to block. He played great for the Falcons last year, and again, this is him in old age already. He did great. He was like their best player. Let's get Calais Campbell in here after 4 p.m. Monday Eastern time. So that's who I would focus on. And that would be a major get for the Cowboys. That would make me very happy. Also, Hassan Ridgeway is also out there, which is not a bad second choice if you wanted to go defensive tackle there. Now, edge rushers, Emmanuel Agba and Yannick Ngakoue. I've mentioned both these guys. This is going to be edge rushers are very expensive. We just drafted one. So probably not going to get any of these guys. And then you look at safeties. Justin Simmons still out there. Micah Hyde. Some big names, but we got like 5 safeties. There's no real need, right? Cornerbacks, Adoree Jackson, Stephon Gilmore. And you know what I'm going to say about that. Stephon Gilmore, come on. Adoree Jackson's not bad either. And, if you want a quarterback, there's still one quarterback remaining out there floating around. Not for us, but Ryan Tannehill, still a free agent. So that's the loaded free agent market right now, the bigger names that you're hearing at all these positions. So the Cowboys, expect the Cowboys to make a move or two. I don't know about these names, but at least some players that maybe even not on this list, we'll be signing them, probably a couple of these guys throughout the next couple of months. Expect that.
Yeah.
The name you didn't hear on that list, one name you didn't hear, and that's Ezekiel Elliott. He's still a free agent, although will he be for much longer? I know a lot of people, a couple days ago, a lot of people out there like Ernie from Twitter, other content creators, they try to get the news out there before anybody else, and it's stupid, and that's lame. You want to get it right, not first. So that's why I know a lot of people are saying, oh, we signed Zeke. No, we did not. We have not signed Zeke. It is not official. There's nothing yet imminent. But it's getting closer to something like that. And I'll give you an update. I'll give you guys a real update. Not, he signed with us. We're good. I heard at least 4 or 5 big content creators say this already. And even though it may happen, it hasn't happened yet. We talk facts. We don't talk hopes or bullshit. So, Zeke, facts. Maybe there is a reunion coming. I believe it is going to happen. He has some social media posts, though, that kind of lead us to think he definitely is going to end up going to Dallas. Shortly after this news broke on Wednesday before the draft about Zeke, being at the Cowboys facility with Rocky Arsenault, which is his agent. He then shared, I think later on Wednesday, that 5 days ago or so, he shared an Instagram story, and the caption read "activated." So again, this was also done by a Dallas videographer and photographer. So he's in Dallas. We knew this already. He was practicing and staying in Dallas. He's of course at the Star visiting. You can see him running his he's running his training and stuff like that. You can see it's same place, probably across the street from the Star. So he's just right there, basically visited already. We know Cowboys are interested. He's interested, but interesting that he shared this story right after the news broke about him visiting with the Cowboys right before the draft. Sharing that to his Instagram story minutes after his meeting with the Cowboys disclosed that this does not feel like a coincidence. The fact that he left there happy, meaning, hey, listen, even if the Cowboys draft someone, they got a deal kind of figured out. They just got to maybe tie up some loose ends and then finalize it. It might be a handshake deal,
but the point is...
It's not a deal.
They know.
Yeah, so the point is, there's probably some skeletal contract already, being processed. Zeke knows what the Cowboys want. The Cowboys know what Zeke wants. And they agree. It just hasn't been official and not official yet. And guys, you and I both know this. These things can disrupt and it can implode in an hour. So, got to keep watching it. Do not tell people we got Zeke. That's stupid. Don't sound like an idiot. Correct people that say we have signed Zeke, because that's how you help people learn the truth. And then when Zeke signs, we can all say, okay, we can give our opinions on that. You know my opinion. I'm not a big fan of this, but at this point, what else we got? Dalvin Cook, a couple other guys maybe, but Cowboys ain't paying big money, and Zeke is willing to take less in Dallas with the $6 million already that on the cap, not to him, on the cap that is, on our books for this season. So again, the dead money is already going to be paid on the cap for Zeke, not to Zeke. Zeke already got his money from us. So this would be, again, if you look at this situation, if there is real smoke behind these reunion rumors, and again, it's still not done. It's a reunion rumor. So Not done yet, but it would be, again, when you look at this, you have Zeke back. What's the positives? Locker room presence, a mentor for the younger running backs like Rico Dowdle. Yeah. If you get RB2, a second, I'm not calling. He's not going to be a starter for me. Not for you guys, he may be, but he's not my starter. He needs to be a backup, a rotational piece, a specific specialized player that you use him in short yardage and that kind of stuff. But definitely the locker room presence will help. It will help to have a mentor for the younger running backs. And if he is good enough that can compete for that running back number 2 or 3, there's a strong possibility that, someone like Deuce Vaughn does not make this roster, which is not necessarily a great thing, but it is something that I don't think Deuce Vaughn was going to make the team anyways. It's going to be hard for him. I also think that, Royce Freeman is just a guy who's like a banger or bruiser like Zeke. So Zeke, if he gets signed, may not make the team, but if he does, he's going to have to beat out Royce Freeman probably. This guy's going to fight for that kind of role on the team if this happens. We'll talk about this more, of course, if and when this officially happens. It has not happened yet. But you basing this cryptic message on Instagram, on his Instagram story by Zeke, and you think about Jerry Jones's cheapness, his lack of moves right now in free agency, and the state of the Cowboys running back situation after the draft, it would be a surprise if he didn't sign with Dallas eventually, whether it's tomorrow, the next day, next week. So we'll see what happens, guys. Definitely keep your eyes on it. And again, no surprise if and when he signs with the Cowboys, tomorrow, the next day, next week. We'll see what happens. But that's the expectation that Cowboys are going to go with a running back like Ezekiel Elliott for this season.
Oh, you guys are cracking me up just because my one kind of response in the chat was just like, we might not necessarily consider Zeke a starter. Jerry certainly does. Well, so keep that in mind.
But I want to say one thing about that.
Okay.
I agree with you up until what he gets paid. If he gets paid $1.5 million, he ain't the starter. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's getting paid the most? That's the starter for Jerry Jones. Even if Zeke's getting 1.5, if Rico's getting 1.7, it's not really like he's the starter, but it's a three-headed monster. It's not a starter. There's no starter if all these running backs are getting the base minimum, because Rico's getting minimum, Royce Freeman's getting minimum, Zeke will get probably close to the minimum. So all these guys are going to be running about $1.5 million, and it's all going to be all three of them. It's all 3 or 4 of them. They're all going to be cheap. So the probability is, even if Zeke is costly, a little bit more costly, doesn't mean he's the starter. It just means he's part of the three-headed backfield we're going to have, in my opinion. So you can call whoever you want a starter, the guy who starts the game. But the reality is, it could be Rico one week, Zeke another week, Royce Freeman another week. You don't know. That's why I don't really consider any starter, any running back a starter on our team if that's the way we're going to run things. So, any other thoughts in there? About Zeke, of course.
Yeah, just the Drums and Cowboys said, the only reason why I would want Zeke is to pound the defense into getting tired, especially with our awesome O-line. I was actually just thinking that he's there to also be a bit of an insurance policy on this very impressive but also very young offensive line that, especially in those early days and weeks, might need a little bit extra blocking, might need some help protecting that, highly expensive quarterback that is worth protecting. So I'm just saying that there's probably a multi-layered reason for them wanting Zeke back.
Yeah, that and sell some jerseys again. That's what Jerry's going to do. Anyways, moving on from Zeke, because, even if he signs, a lot of people are going crazy for him. I don't know why. We know where he's at now. We love him but he's not the guy he was. He's just a short yardage guy, which is what Royce Freeman is as well. That's why I'm saying watch out for that, because there's not going to be any guaranteed money, in my opinion, for Zeke. And basically, the one who loses the job gets cut between him and Royce Freeman. So we'll see. But I know Jerry's definitely favoring Zeke. Now, other news for Cowboy news before we get to the draft stuff and finish up. Kind of a quickie tonight, but we are going to talk about the draft, the guys we drafted, and the undrafted list. We're going to end it with that tonight. And I'm going to give you some important information about all 12 of the guys we signed. But our starters, our guys on this team that earned that star, like Trayvon Diggs, his son, Aiden Diggs, on his Instagram, was he like 7? He was in a car boat. I don't know what you call it. It was like a car driving in the ocean or in a lake or something. And he was standing up and just like waving to the camera. It was pretty awesome to see, but this is a 7-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old kid.
Living his best life.
Aiden Diggs is living the life right now as a child. Anyways, jersey numbers. We talked about the new jersey numbers, and we talked about DeMarvin Overshown going from 35 to 13. Why didn't he get 0? What's going on? Some people are saying, and I don't know if this is a joke, I sure hope it is, that a real NFL player won't be able to really wear the number 0 for the Cowboys. Someone said because the mascot is wearing it. Rowdy is wearing 0. So that's bullshit. Obviously, that's crap, guys. But even if that's not the reason, or if get rid of this motherfucker anyways. We don't want Rowdy anymore. Get Rowdy the fuck out of here. So put two zeros on his ass, and then or kick him the hell out of here and get a new mascot or something. But number 0 is still being held off from any of these of our made Dallas Cowboy veterans on this team. We'll see if that changes before we get to the first snap of week 1. And one little quick note here before we kind of dive into the draft again and just give a quick little Will McClay recap. Jerry Jones. Quick little, I don't know if we said this yesterday. I said some of these quotes trickled down and through. We missed. But he said this, quote, "I think relatively we have given ourselves a chance to be better at the end of next year than we were at the end of this last season. Because I'm figuring in now some young guys that last year did not play as much as they're going to be playing this year. So the positive is there. We're in a situation where these young players, whether they are first rounders, second rounders, third year guys, they have to start carrying the mail for the Dallas Cowboys. So again, the plan all in means first year guys, second year guys, rookies, and third year guys. I mean, these guys all have to step up even though they haven't played much. Interesting little change of an all-in. To me, it sounds all-in.
The next generation.
Yeah, all-in to the next year. It sounds like almost.
Skeptical fan said, don't drink the Kool-Aid.
That's right.
Yeah, be careful. There might be a little something in it to make sure we all take an extra long nap.
Yeah,
Wake up,
yeah.
Right?
So,
Seabass, shout out to you. Much
Seabass
love.
in the house.
El Cool said Jerry Jones. All about the money.
All about the Benjamins, baby. So now I talk about, the situation with the draft. And the picks that we made, and I'm trying to find it right now. I don't know why I can't find this, but, there it is. So the picks that the Cowboys made in this draft, here they are. You see the starters, the starters, the ones we actually drafted, 8 players. And just real quickly before we go to what Will McClay said about all these guys, listen to this. First off, how did you guys vote on this? Because last night we had, and I know we didn't get to, we ended the stream after over 3 hours, so we didn't even read it, but I did end the poll and get the info for us here. In this draft of players, of these 8 players, we had 203 votes. I think there's a record here on MCF. We had 203 votes. And what was the grade range that the family here, you guys, gave the Cowboys in this 2024 NFL draft? And remember, we know the grades will change depending on what happens in 2 or 3 or 4 years. Some of this could get worse, some of this could get better. But right now, initial impact of this draft, 45% of you guys said A to B range. 32% of you guys said B to C range. So right there, you're looking at what? 77% of the family here, of the Cowboy fans here in this channel, gave it anywhere from an A to as low as the lowest a C. That is a very big percentage of this. It's almost 80% of the Cowboy fan base here. This is a pretty above average draft. You have the C to D range, 14%. And only 7% of you guys of the 203 votes gave it a D to an F. So, for the most part, it seems like a very solid draft.
I'm pleasantly surprised in the sense that, I figured
we're on the same page.
Maybe more people might have stronger negative feelings about it. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'm going to keep saying it. These picks were not sexy. A lot of those early picks were all, trenches, offensive line.
Run stopping, running.
So, let's be real. That's
what we need.
That's not as fun as getting a
receivers, running backs,
or a tight end, or that's you got my point.
Quarterback, running back. We did get a quarterback. You see him right down there.
We did.
That 4th round pick 124. They got some Malik Mustafa for the Niners. We got Trey Lance. That's our quarterback. So that was last year. We had him prepping for this year to be the backup. So let me give you the quick grade. Tyler Guyton. 1st round pick, and he would on Dane Brugler's projected rounds.
Yeah,
he put him as a 1st rounder, so that equals out. 2nd round pick, Marshawn Nealand. We got him in the 2nd round. He put him as a first rounder.
No.
Yeah. One of the top 5, 6 pass rushers. So that, again, according to Dane Brugler, he's, we're hitting this out of the ballpark round 1 and round 2. Round 3, we had 2 guys. Cooper Beebe, who we got and drafted, of course, in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
According to Brugler, he said it's a 2nd round pick for Cooper Beebe. So already every single pick either is on the mark or even is a higher grade by the analysts, by the top experts. So again, we got him in the 3rd round. He was a 2nd round pick, and then the last pick of the 3rd round for us, the second pick in the 3rd round was Marist Life. I can't say his name.
What?
Lifau. Yeah. So Lifau. We picked him in the end of the 3rd round, and Dane Brugler had him as a 5th or 6th rounder. So again, that is day 1 and 2. That's the only pick that was like a little bit of a reach, you can say, but he also has a high ceiling to be really a starter next year, doing that, LVE / Eric Kendricks, Damone Clark kind of role that he's going to have to play. So we'll see how that turns out. That's the only kind of reach on day 1 and 2. Day 3, 5th, 6th, and 2 7th rounders. No 4th rounder except for Trey Lance. So you look at Kalen Carson. We got him in the 5th round. Cornerback Kalen Carson. He is rated by Dane Brugler as a 3rd or 4th round pick. So 3rd or 4th rounder. Again, another guy we got great value from in the 5th round. Then we got the 6th rounder, Ryan Flournoy, receiver. 6th round pick is what we got him at, and he was projected as a 6th rounder by Dane Brugler. So that's another one that's, accurate. I guess you can say not, we're not reaching, we're not getting a great deal, but he's right there where he should have been picked. And the last 2 guys, way at the bottom of the draft in the 7th round, Nathan Thomas, offensive lineman, and I'm telling you, this guy is better than you guys. I talked a little about him yesterday, the ins and outs. 7th rounder, we got him, right? End of the 7th round, he was projected as a 5th rounder. 5th rounder. That's like Asim Richards. You know what I'm saying? So to me, so many better moves like where we got these guys than last year in comparison, where we overdrafted and reached for a lot of guys. This draft, we reached for one guy. Lau Fau. That's it. The linebacker. So the last pick is Justin Rogers, a nose tackle, a one-tech defensive tackle. We got him in the 7th round, literally maybe before, like 10 picks before the draft ended. So he's basically an undrafted. He was projected to be an undrafted free agent. So, again, every single guy here is basically, 2 of them is where we were supposed to get them. 1 of them was a little bit of a reach, and the other 5 were all value picks. When you look at the rounds and you look at Dane Brugler's breakdown. So, Cowboys really, I think, did a great job. I think I gave it a B+ on this draft. You want to see maybe that other starter in that 2nd round, but I understand why they went with edge. So, baby, I know it, you know it, we talked about it, the fans know it. And again, one of the few great guys we have in the front office as not part of the clown show, what did Will McClay say? Now, listen, Will McClay has made mistakes. He ain't perfect. But out of the rest of this offense, this front office, don't even talk to me about Will McClay being bad because you got Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones. So before you even talk about Will McClay, talk about those 2 fucking fools first. Then you can talk about Will McClay. Will McClay, who's basically been saving us most of the time on these last 12 years of drafts, not blowing out of the water every single time, but he's saving us with the little bit that he's allowed to do from the Joneses. What did he say about all of our picks, starting with Tyler Guyton?
When you build an offensive lineman, you look for athleticism, the feet. We have a history of having guys who do things at a high level at that position. There were some traits that definitely showed us that was there. You talk about the athletic ability, and left tackles are usually more athletic. And this guy's an athletic guy. Basketball background, he has some defense in his nature. We feel good about him moving to the left side. The way that he plays the game, there's a little nasty to him.
Remember, guys, played basketball. When he played football, he played defensive lineman, defensive tackle. He also played tight end. So he's he's caught touchdowns in college as a offensive lineman that was eligible. Like Dan Skipper last year tried to do us, and he didn't check in right. So he said he'll check in right this year if we use him on any kind of passes, but he said he will not drop the ball. Good hands for Tyler Guyton. And that's a quick Will McClay breakdown. How about round 2? Defensive edge rusher, Marshawn Nealon. What did Will McClay say about him?
The number one thing about him is the high effort and motor that he plays with. Then, to be physically talented enough to play at this level, the more you watch him, the more you see NFL traits, and then you see the traits that we were all looking for on the defensive side. Playing hard all the time, having the ability to rush the passer outside and inside. As hard as DeMarcus Lawrence played at Boise State, there are some similarities there.
Now, again, like we've said, and I've said it, this feels like the replacement for DeMarcus Lawrence next season when he has no contract with the Cowboys. Sam Williams and Marshawn Nealon seem to be the replacement. He's more DeMarcus Lawrence style. Like Sam Williams is more like Micah Parsons style, if you can even compare him to Micah. So this guy's a run stopper, Nealon. Doesn't really have the sacks or the production in the pass rush, but he is an effective defensive player in the passing game and a very good run stopper at the edge. A guy who you think edge rusher, we need to stop the run with, we need to stop the pass. He's a pass rusher. He's really a run stopper, guys. He's really like the Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler, makeup spot there. He's the guy who's picking up some of those snaps, as is Sam Williams. So, just keep that in mind, guys. When we also have Fehoko from last year. We'll see if he does anything competing for the 5th spot as an edge rusher. But that is the way the Cowboys are using him, and it does make sense. They like him because the Marcus Lawrence qualities, like run-stopping stuff and some pass-rushing ability, which needs to be added to, I guess. Hopefully it gets added to so he could be a full-timer, not just a first-down guy to stop the run, So we'll see. But again, this is all about run-stopping, and like I said, Tyler Guyton is about running the ball and pass protection with him. So that's the first 2 picks. How about the 2 third-rounders? In the second day of the draft. Cooper Beebe, a guard center, who's going to be our center, it looks like. What do you say?
So as
Fan
far
favorite
as
too, by the
Cooper
way.
Beebe, Mr. Bippity Boppity Boo, McClay said, quote, Cooper likes to dirt people.
Woo,
I read that he said that after he was drafted Friday night.
He
so
did.
whatever that means. I'm glad
That means throwing him into the ground and stuffing him under the ground. If you watch some of those highlights I posted, you'll see it.
You might want to let McClay know. But he did say, I'm glad he's doing it for us. With his ability and to play the guard position, he's played all over there and also snapped. So that ability and that demeanor, bringing that to the team was something that we wanted to do.
Another glass eater, another asshole. A lot of these guys this year, last year, the year before, are asshole glass eaters. And we're finally building a culture in Dallas. It's not going to take 1 year. It's going to take 5 years. But the more guys you bring in here that are young and assholes and glass eaters, that means you're going to change the culture in the locker room. And that star culture, it's not going to be about the star. It's about being an asshole. And that's what we need to win a Super Bowl. I think we need that kind of attitude we're missing on this team. Cooper Beebe brings it. And again, guys, he played every position. He really played the 3 main positions was left tackle, right tackle, and left guard. And his best position was left side. Like left tackle, left guard was the best he was at. Right tackle was probably the worst he was at. But he's also snapped the ball. He's practiced all offseason just for being center in the NFL. So, of course, Will McClay loves the versatility of the guard, but it's about that center spot where we're going to bring that nastiness, that assholeness back to that front offensive line with Tyler Smith next to him. And then Guyton, who also is an asshole. That left side plus the center to the left is great. You got Zach Warren to the right, who is also one of those kind of guys. And Terrence Steele, who could have been. I don't know if he'll ever be that. We got 5 assholes on this offensive line. I love it. Now, the second pick in the 3rd round, a lot of people didn't like this. This is the only real reach, I guess you can say. Marist Liufau. What did Will McClay say about him?
He's a linebacker that can rush, that can play stacked, that can play on special teams. He has 34-inch arms. Add that multiplicity into our defense and what Zimmer wanted from that position. You see those things from the guy, and he does it at Notre Dame. He plays all over the field and can drop in coverage. The multiplicity and the number of things that he can do at a high level was attractive.
So again, that was a little more, I think the higher upside on him and the need that we have for a year of learning the NFL systems and ways is why the Cowboys rolled the dice on him. And I think it's a good dice roll. Guys with long flowing hair like that, like remind me of Troy Polamalu, they usually don't disappoint. So we'll see how that pick goes. We're going to all keep an eye on that one a lot. I know that. Then we go to day 3, the final 4 picks. We don't have any picks in the 4th round because we got Trey Lance. So then we got round 5. At the end of the round, we got cornerback Kalen Carson, who was supposed to be a third rounder. We got him basically in the 6th round, at the end of the 5th. What did Will McClay say about cornerback Kalen Carson?
He has the ability to play inside and outside. Really raw in technique. A lot of the things that he was doing in college was a lot on his natural ability. You know that there's more upside there because of his answers during the pre-draft interviews and the things he was looking at. Plus his work ethic, how he competes. He will tackle as a corner, which is also a positive. So, but yeah, that was McClay's only thoughts there on our 5th round pick.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's good because, again, Kalen Carson, we talked about the ability to play inside and outside. He's really better on the perimeter, is what I've heard from most of his, analysis talk and the film. So again, another guy who also has a lot of upside was a guy who should have been drafted in the 3rd or 4th round. We got him at the end of the 5th. So a lot of great stuff there from this pick, in my opinion. I like this pick of Kalen Carson. Again, now 5th round, now 6th round, receiver Ryan Flournoy. Receiver. What do you say about Ryan Flournoy?
He's a big receiver that we really like. Big, fast, strong, and physical. He really stood out and fit in at the Combine and at the Senior Bowl to show that he belonged with the NFL-type players. We think that there's a great upside there.
And I must say, I think that again, he's going to be competing at the bottom of our depth for receiver. He might be a practice squad guy. He might be a guy that can beat out someone like Jalen Brooks. That's kind of my comparison there. We'll see who wins that battle, but it doesn't hurt to add some more talent to the receiving core of things. Much love kicked off the first drop of the night here live, I should say. Much love to the man Mark Hosepian with that 5 on it.
Woo.
What did the man say?
Who rushes the QB? We have number 11 and Fehoko and his 3 snaps. No, Sam's done jack shit. We have no defensive tackles, 2 solid offensive line guys who are projects, and a hyped linebacker who was a reach.
Now, I don't know about what do you say about the offensive line guys? Because, okay, solid guys. I don't know if I say hyped, but definitely that was the one that they reached with. I agree on that. As far as the guys who rush the quarterback, you're right. That edge rusher, Marshawn Nealon, is not really a pass rusher specialist. He can rush, the pass rush, and all that stuff, but he's there to just clog up the edge he's at and really stop the run and try to add a little bit of pressure, but he's not. You can't count on him for that. So, to me, there's I understand the pass rush issue. Right now, we have DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. I know you said Sam Williams done jack shit. That's not really. I would say it's more based on the fact that he's made so many mistakes when he's had, when he's been in games. That's been more offensive to me than his play. I think he's played very well, actually, for the small skill, the small times he gets on that field. He'll have more snaps this year, Sam Williams. And I think this is where we got to see. This is going to be a real deciding factor for Sam Williams going forward. So I'm still holding out hope for Sam Williams. The issue with him is dumb fucking penalties. If he's going to do too many of those, I don't even want him. He's going to be Randy Gregory Part 2. We don't need that. So, I'm not agreeing about, the Sam Williams situation. But, and I do agree, though, with him when Mark about the defensive tackles. We did sign a running back. We signed a defensive tackle and undrafted guys. I'll talk about them. But again, they're undrafted. So everybody who loves these names, I'm going to speak on in a minute. Just calm down because they're undrafted. Now, don't get me wrong. That's this guy's specialty. Him and Chris Hall do a great job getting they are allowed free reign on the undrafted talent out there. You know this because during the interviews with Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones, you saw, Cowboys signing players without getting approval from the Joneses. That's all Will McClay running the show there, just letting you know. So, I think I'm going to say this. Defensive tackle to me is a worry, not as much as on the edge rushing in my mind. But, last year we had Dorrance Armstrong, and Dante Fowler, So to me, we didn't get worse. We probably stayed about the same at the edge right now. And, we're on a different scheme with Zimmer. So we'll have to see how that all works together. But yeah, defensive tackles are the biggest issue on our team. I think that we haven't really filled in those spots. Even when we get the last pick there, we'll talk about these last two guys in a minute, but trenches and all that good stuff. We know Justin Rogers is just, he cannot make tackles. He's not a run stopper. He basically just takes on blocks and allows linebackers to stay clean. That's a position where you don't, we need that position, but we also know that, people that are playing that, that position are not going to be sexy picks or get a lot of statistics or stop the run. Mm-hmm. The linebackers will get better numbers, though, if he does his job right. And this is the kind of guy, it reminds me of a Bohanna type. But we'll talk about him in a minute here as we finish hearing what Will McClay says. Much love to the man, Mark Hovsepian. And, I don't agree with everything you said there, but I agree with most of what you said. Let me put it that way. Now, continuing this draft situation, the last two picks, the 7th rounders, Nathan Thomas, offensive lineman who was supposed to be a 5th rounder. We got him in the 7th rounder. What did Mr. Will McClay have to say about Nathan Thomas?
This is one of the stronger offensive lineman drafts that there's been in a long time. A player of this caliber that moves people and does things at the NFL level with his size and his ability to bend and to be able to play inside and outside makes him attractive and makes for a competitive room.
So again,
McCarthy, I think, also mentioned that this is the most competitive O-line room that he's obviously, been a part of, not just within Dallas, but just like in somewhat recent memory for him.
I guess it could be. I mean, it's more about the youth of these guys than it is.
Whether it's true or not, that's just how he feels, and that's how he's remembering it. I think it has less to do with, was that the actual exact reality, and more, obviously, he's feeling that energy as well. I think that's a better way of phrasing it, right? So, plus, let's be real. It's not like when he first joined us, like what competition was there? There was no competition. Those guys were... those were their jobs. You know what I mean? No one knows. Certainly nobody was going to take them from them. Now, very different story, isn't it? Everybody's job's in jeopardy.
Everyone. Even the starting quarterback.
So, that's what I mean. I'm like, it's a very different story now. So,
yeah, I like Nathan Thomas. I think he will improve the chances of this. I'm sorry, this defensive line.
I think he has a chance to become one of those.
Offensive line. I'm sorry.
I was confused for a second, but I just kind of rolled with it. But no, damn it, I lost my train of thought.
No, about being a good mix. I think he's going to be great depth, and we'll see what he can do. He'll be a good depth offensive lineman. He'll probably be fighting with guys like Awesome Richards and those kind of guys to stay on the team, in my opinion. Oh, another one from the man, Mark Hovsepian. The 5 on it. What did Mark have to say?
Ooh, he said Sam was so hyped. He is averaging 4 sacks a year and makes mistakes. And could not beat out Armstrong and Fowler. He's a body, and teams don't need him. Teams don't fear him, and he's not worth a number 2.
Okay, well, again, as of right now, I would agree with that. We'll see how he does this year in the Zimmer's defense when he gets more snaps. I think the lack of snaps also hurts his kind of flow, right? But I've seen something in him. He's got something in him for sure. Just can he be smart about things on the field, and can he be consistent about it when he gets more snaps? So I hear you saying, Mark, but I'm gonna keep an open mind about him, because the last 2 years, let's be honest, he was on the field very often. This year he has to be on the field. So we will definitely get an answer on this guy here this year. Now, I'm gonna ask Mark this question: who would you rather have, Mark? Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler, or Sam Williams? But you remember, you're paying Sam Williams like $2 million. You got to pay Dante Fowler $5 million, and you got to pay Armstrong $8 million. Who will you take? I'm taking Sam Williams out of those 3. That's just me. I know they all have their good and bad and ugly. That's just me. That's just the way I would go with it.
There you go. So, let me see here. So, cool.
I also, I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you too much, but I also wanted to say, big shout out to people on this board right now, like Mark Hovsepian, who's all the way in 4th place on the overall board. And I think Jason Renfro moved up a little bit too. He is currently, I think, let me just make sure. Yeah, he's currently right there behind Arkansas, I think in like 9th or 10th place, so or 11th place. So much love to Jason Wren for everybody else in the house, dropping the love. Again, this all adds into the raffle we got. See at the bottom right of the screen. How does that work, baby, with that?
So again, guys, you drop $10, bam, you are automatically entered into the raffle. And if you would like some additional entries, again, every $10 on top of that is an additional entry into the raffle.
Remember also, guys, that what do they win?
Your choice of an authentic, like, stitched in jersey.
Of what we have available, yes.
Oh, you didn't let me.
I know, I'm sorry.
I promise I was getting to that part, my love. Am I allowed to get to it now?
Oh, go for it.
Okay, just making sure. Anyway, but yes, your choice of an authentic, like, stitch in jersey, as long as we have it, it will be yours. So, a variety of players, styles, and sizes available. You've seen us here repping a variety of players, styles, and sizes. So, we can attest to that as well.
Yes. So again, as you know, and who's bringing it to us here? And we'll let you know when the raffle goes. But this week, all the proceeds go towards your raffle entries. So keep that in mind. And in case you didn't know what we're talking about, boom, there it is. Jersey raffles for day 1 and day 2 of the draft, which I think we got 3 out of the 4 guys. I think we did okay on that. I think we got to wait and see. Maybe all 4 are good. Maybe they all suck. $10 per entry. Stack them. Every 10 on top of that is another entry. And if you're in the membership, any level of membership, you get a bonus raffle entry. Yes, like you said, baby. And we'll let you know when that's happening. Much love to the Lunatic for making it happen. Now, the last guy on the list here. Defensive tackle, Justin Rogers. A guy who could have been an undrafted, but hey, we were 10 picks away from the last pick. I don't care. This is not making this is an undrafted player to me, and I'm happy with whatever he can bring. He's a big defensive tackle from Auburn. Justin Rogers. What did Will McClay say about him?
We want to get big. We want to be physical.
Yep.
He's a big, nasty from Auburn with some length that can play the big inside nose tackle position. So he's fitting a need, as well as being among the best players for us based on our board going down that way.
Again, this guy was, even though undrafted, he was listed as undrafted. You know why? Because he's really got one purpose. Just run stuffing and open up chances for linebackers. Mm-hmm. And usually players don't want to draft a player like that because they need a guy who can also pass rush from that one tech nose tackle spot. But we don't need that. We got a lot of 3 techs running all over the place rushing. The other reason is this guy's not a 3-down player. And he might never be. So a lot of people don't want to draft a guy like that unless you can at least have a chance to be a 3-down player. And that's what I'm trying to say. To me, they want Mozzie to be that 3-down player, but they want Justin Rogers to kind of be that run stuff or maybe next to him on some plays. If he develops into that direction, as a nose tackle that is not there for the pass rush, he's one of the best guys. He's one of the best nose tackles that don't pass rush, which is not really a full-time need, although it'd be nice to get that. You're not going to get that in the 7th round. 10 picks before the end of the draft.
Yeah.
Much love to the man, Mark Hovsepian, dropping another 5 on it.
Woo.
Taking Zachary Carrasco down to 15 points. That's not that far from someone taking that board, that top stream boss, being the boss of the stream, as we're turning a new leaf and heading into a new week, starting tomorrow, where now we can sign some free agents who'll be repping that stream boss by the end of tonight. But for tomorrow, for next week, we will see. But Mark Hovsepian chipping away at that. What did the man say?
He said, we have to keep an open mind. We have Jack. As in
we
Jack.
have no other choice.
As in Jack shit, not Jack, some guy hiding in your closet. I'm just trying to...
No, I'm just trying to say, I agree with that because, we have to have an open mind and hope that these guys produce, not because picks are bad or good, or because that's what the Joneses set up to have happen. We were never going to have a better team after the draft than last year, starting off in this part of the season. Why? Because we didn't make any free agent moves and we let everybody go. So we knew this already. So we have to keep an open mind and hope that some of these rookies, these second-year guys and third-year guys that are going to play a lot more, like Sam Williams and others, got to start playing. They got to produce immediately.
So, to continue on with what Mark said,
yes.
He said, Sam, only because of the money, Sam's not a difference maker. I would have traded down in the 2nd round and gotten Jalen Wright and picks.
And listen, we are on the same page on trading down. You know how I am about that. I am fully in agreement with him. But, we can talk about what we would love to do. We know the Joneses don't do that stuff. They do their own thing. Sometimes they get lucky. Sometimes very rarely are they right. But they're, a lot of times wrong. And it's frustrating. So I hear you on this. And that's all I'm trying to say. When it comes to Sam Williams, those are the choices. Not from me or from Mark or from you, baby, or from other fans. These are the choices from the Joneses.
Yeah.
So if these are the three choices you have, you got to go Sam Williams and roll the dice. I don't want Dorrance. I would not want Dorrance Armstrong here to keep Sam Williams another year off of the defensive side of the ball as much, right? Now you had to put him. Sam Williams has to take that step this year, or he will not be here after his 4th year. So this is a make or break for him, in my opinion. So I hear you, Mark. We agree.
Yeah, I have to co-sign that statement.
So again, now that we kind of got Will McClay's kind of breakdowns here, right? Will McClay and staff got to work on undrafted rookies. We're going to finish it up with this, but this is very important. So all these undrafted rookies we signed like 10 of them yesterday. Today we signed 2 more. And we have a total of 12 guys. So with all these guys, I'm gonna kind of put them in their position ranking by the analysts in this draft. So how are they at their position, and where would they be ranked at their position, and what part of the draft, if at all, were expected to go at? And we're going to start off with a tight end, Brevin Spanford. Important name to remember. From Minnesota, tight end. We'll talk more. I want to talk a lot. I have a couple guys I'm going to talk a lot more about. A couple guys are going to hit up a couple quick facts. But right now, I just want to let you know, he was ranked as the 13th best tight end, and he had a 6th or 7th round grade. So we got an undrafted guy that was supposed to be drafted in the 6th round or maybe 7th round. And you see more of his footage, and I'm going to try to post some of this. You'll understand why. The guy is athletic. He jumps over people. He runs through people. I think he's like 6'5", 270. A lot of people call him your 6th offensive lineman. So definitely a guy I think is going to push some guys off of this team on the tight end spot. Then we got the next guy that's rated wise on Dane Brugler's list, Imani Johnson. Safety from Nevada. He was the 26th ranked safety in this draft. Alec Holler, tight end from UCF. Go UCF. He was the 30th ranked tight end. So you have Brevin Spanford, tight end, 13th. We got him undrafted. And then the other tight end, it was ranked 30th. So that shows you that, we got really lucky in being able to bring in this tight end, even though we got Schoonmaker, we got, of course, Ferguson, we have Hendershot, and don't forget John Stevens Jr., whatever, is coming back to play tight end this year, hopefully from that ACL tear will be okay. So we got like 5 now. 5, and I don't know about what's his name. I think we didn't resign. What's his name? Number 84. What was his name?
Hendershot? No. McEwen?
McEwen, he's a free agent. He hasn't been signed by anyone, and there's no way he's coming back to Dallas because we got 5 or 6 very good. We got to cut one of these good players at tight end. So then like I said, Alec Holler, the other undrafted tight end, 30th ranked as far as tight ends are concerned in this draft. Now Julius Wood is a safety from East Carolina, and he was ranked 35 amongst all safeties. The other safety was ranked 26th. So we get the 26th and the 35th ranked safeties in this draft, in the undrafted side of things. Another UCF Knight, Mr. Jason Johnson, linebacker. A lot of people liking what he may bring. He was the 36th ranked linebacker. Then next on the list was a defensive tackle, undersized, kind of nose tackle from Illinois, Denzel Daxon. He was the 43rd defensive tackle in this draft. And finally, we get to a running back. We didn't get Frank Gore Jr. We got Nathaniel Pete, running back from Missouri. Ranked as the 43rd best running back in this draft. Brian Vaughns, defensive edge rusher from Baylor, 45th ranked edge rusher. Josh DeBerry, cornerback from Texas A&M, the 57th ranked cornerback. Cam Johnson, wide receiver from Northwestern, the 73rd wide receiver. Brock Morganson, linebacker from South Dakota, the 75th linebacker. And finally, Corey Crooms, wide receiver from Minnesota, 89th best wide receiver. Very low on the list, of course, on the wide receiver side of things. So now we got an idea of some of these names. Let me kind of give a breakdown of these guys, and I want everybody to follow because these are kind of important guys. Let's start on offense. Nathaniel Pete, running back from Missouri. This is an important pickup because we didn't get a running back in this draft. He joins the running back room now.
Yeah, very, very important.
Nathaniel Pete, running back from Missouri. He's 23 years old, 5'8" and a quarter inches, 196 pounds. All right, so he's a little kind of short, but he's a little light as well. Spent 3 years at Stanford and then transferred to Missouri for his final 2 seasons. Now, this is a running back, the only running back we got after the draft concluded on Saturday. The Cowboys did not draft one, so we did finally sign the undrafted Nathaniel Pete. He tested very well at Missouri's Pro Day. He had a 40-yard dash time of 4.37. He had a 41-inch vertical and a 10-foot 8-inch broad jump. Also, some explosion added to the backfield and the competition that's going to go on there. Could be a guy that knocks off Deuce Vaughn. Just saying. Now, a little clarification. He had a 4.37 second 40-yard dash on his pro day, I think. But that's an outlier. His usual 40-yard dashes running around the 4.45, 4.49 range. Keep that in mind there, guys. I think usually he hits about 4.5, 4.51, 4.53. So this 4.37 is really an anomaly for him. He's not really this fast. Keep that in mind. Now, some of these guys, I'm going to tell you the money on this because it's important. Nathaniel Pete from Missouri got a $3,000 signing bonus to be an undrafted rookie for the Cowboys. He rushed for 317 yards and 3 touchdowns off of 76 carries. Like I said, he was the 43rd ranked running back from Dane Brulger. And we got Marco Sepien saying, hold up, dropping that 5 on it, and taking Zachary Carrasco down to 10 points on the stream, boss. And Mark is adding raffle entries. That's I think he's in first place now as far as raffle entries are concerned. What did Mark have to say?
I seen you were hoping for us not to get Guyton on Facebook Shorts. The guard will be a stud, but he needs time to learn, how to be a center. We used a 6th pick for a practice squad receiver? Clowns.
Yeah, see, but you got to remember, a lot of those guys are like hit or miss. When you got a 6th rounder, probably not going to make the team or be a practice squatter. So it's, Mark, a 6th round. And we're talking about the end of the 6th round. This is a comp pick. Mark, you're not going to get a starter there, brother. That's just the way it is. He's a guy that's thrown into the mix and you hope for the best. I think that freaking the 7th rounder, Nathan Thomas, is a better pickup, actually, in my mind, especially when you need an offensive lineman. If you hit on an offensive lineman, that's filthy rich, you know what I'm saying? Like we did with, let's say, Brock Hoffman to some extent, TJ Bass. These are both undrafteds. Nathan Thomas is basically almost like an undrafted, and I like that pick. The receiver, it doesn't bother me. We have enough receivers to kind of hang in there. We got good 6 receivers right now. Yeah, we have, I think, 6. 5 receivers solid, and that'll be our 6th. So I think it's okay him fighting it out with a couple other guys, trying to stay on the team. So I don't have a problem with that. And yes, I know what you're saying about Tyler Guyton on the shorts. And there's reason behind that. It's not really context, but I always had said that I didn't like the fact that he did not do as well on the scouting combine in his pro day when it comes to his athletic report, which was supposed to be a lot better. Mm-hmm. But when you realize most of these issues happened at tackle, I'm sorry, not at tackle, happened at, what was the issue? Most of these issues he had were things that would happen never on pass protection. Like he's the second best pass protection, pass blocker in this draft. When I heard that, I'm like, okay, now I kind of understand what the Cowboys are bringing here. They want to protect their quarterback, whoever it's going to be in the future, and now Dak, so the offense can run smoother. And that's what the goal was. This guy still has to get better at the run blocking side of things. He's still good, but he's got to get better there to be a Tyron Smith type. But he's already at like top level, elite level pass protection. So when I heard that, I changed my mind, Mark. I'm like, I can deal with a Tyler Guyton, who is great at pass protection, one of the best in this draft at pass protection. And we'll see if he turns into me. We didn't feel. Hey, admit this, Mark. We didn't feel good about Tyler Smith either, right? My big thing was I didn't like the pick as a tackle. I liked him as a guard better. Yeah. He shut me up when he played great at tackle, but he's elite at guard. And that was my point when we drafted him. I wanted him at guard, and that's better. That's why I want this guy, Cooper Beebe. I want him inside, whether it's guard or center. We need him at center now. I think he'll be the future replacement for Zach Martin as our right guard if he pans out the way he should. And so, yeah, you get like a little glimpse of a comedy moment there where I said the name. I was literally picked a second after I said it that I did not want it. So that's all fun. That's all funny, but when you look at the context, you understand what I mean by that. The original video kind of shows it all, and of course, if you listen to us every night, you'll hear my explanations for the reasoning I have.
Yeah.
But I hear you. I'm not going to bitch about every single pick, though. This is not all full. I do not agree with it. It's all clown show. There's some clown showness in this.
Yeah, there's always a little bit of clownery afoot.
Yeah, always with this front office. But for the most part, I cannot criticize an end of the 6th round pick. You know what I mean? I can't really do that. We don't know what's going to happen with that player. So, getting back to the undrafteds, at running back, Nathaniel Pete, who again is going to run more of a 4.5 than he is going to run a 4.3. But he got $3,000 signing bonus. He rushed for 317 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 76 carries. Not much production last year, but he's an undrafted. So we'll see how we use him. Now, I want to go to the tight end because this guy is the star of the undrafteds. I'm telling you right now. So easy to remember him because his first name is Brevin, and he has a hyphenated name, Spanford. Not Spanford, Spanford. Tight end from Minnesota. Again, 24 years old, 6 foot 6.5 inches. 260 pounds, actually, not 270, 260. Yeah. Played 6 years for the Minnesota Golden Gophers and had a total of 2,134 snaps. So he has a lot of experience. Also, he played 267 special team snaps. And he racked up 1,046 yards and 7 touchdowns over his 6 years. Again, not a scoring threat or a receiving threat, but he is a blocking threat. 260 pounds with a large catch radius. Even when covered, he makes the catch. Dynamic inline kind of blocker as a tight end when you shift him in motion and he's behind the tight end. Or like almost as a fullback. Keep that in mind. So again, we got Schoonmaker last year. We had to use a second rounder for that. We got a Schoonmaker now, basically. That's why I didn't like the Schoonmaker pick. Osiris Torrance would have helped a lot in a lot of different ways this year, right, for the draft. So, Mark and I on the same page on that. So, when you look at this guy, dynamic inline option that can catch, block, and, really do some great stuff out there on the field. So, what do we pay this guy? We just gave the other guy $3,000, the running back. We paid Brevin Spanford $225,000. I mean, that's $250,000 to an undrafted player. And we gave him a salary guarantee of $20,000. It's unheard of for, undrafted players. Gave him a signing bonus to agree to terms. He agreed to terms Saturday evening. He spoke to teams. A lot of teams were interested in him. And a lot of strong interest from a lot of teams. I would keep an eye on this guy. Spanford, last name. First name, Brevin. Watch for this guy. I've heard him called the 6th offensive lineman. So when you look at him, guys, again, the thing you have to remember about this guy, he's not going to give you the flashy touchdowns. All right? What he's gonna do is he's gonna basically pick up where he left off in Minnesota. He should pick up where he left off as a dominant run blocker. So even though he could be to me, it's like the reverse of our first pick, Tyler Guyton, who's an offensive lineman but can catch the ball as a tight end. This guy is more of a tight end but can be an inline or an offensive line kind of blocker as well. A small offensive lineman, you can say, at 260. So, again, most people thought he was going to be a day 3, and he was rising in day 3, and he was not drafted. Now we have him. And to me, when you look at the money, you look at the $225,000 we've given him and a $20,000 signing bonus, that tells me he is making this team. The Cowboys expect him to make this team, which puts Peyton Hendershot on notice, if you know what I mean. And let me just,
days are certainly numbered here in Dallas.
The strengths from this tight end. Enormous, well-proportioned frame. He has flashes of dominance as a run blocker. He rolls hips into contact to sustain blocks through the end of the play, through the whistle. Drives defensive backs to the sideline and parts the sea on tunnel screens. A very good blocker, even on screens. He's going to be used in this offense. I'm telling you, this guy will be utilized as a gem, a diamond in the rough when it comes to the undrafteds. Has the catch radius to be a mismatch in the red zone. Maybe blocking the whole way down the field. Red zone, you might hit him up with a touchdown here. We'll have to see what happens. But he also has decent speed. Not the greatest speed, but decent speed when he's matched up against linebackers and he can separate from them. His weaknesses is he athletic? Yes, but he can jump over players and it looks cool and all that. But Athletic traits on the RAS score, not that great. Cannot be trusted to always, he has a great catch radius, but he's not always trusted to make the catch. He dropped 26.5% of his targets last year. So that's not good. He also struggles to power through redirection at the stem. Also is upright, too upright when he blocks. Cumbersome route runner. When he's running down the field, he runs upright and kind of chunky steps. Waits for contact and then catches blocks in pass protection. So again, he instead of going out and blocking, he waits for it to come to him. Needs to slide his feet and stay centered when he's in pass blocking assignments. And he sometimes overshoots angles as a moving blocker, relies on his length, and sometimes lunges too often when he's trying to get that linebacker blocked or the second level block. So again, you see he's a good, very good blocker, but he's, he has his issues, as he gets down the field a little bit. So those are the two. The reason why I wanted to just really showcase those two guys, because the rest are going to be quick, the other 10 guys. But those two guys, running back, we haven't drafted one. So Pete, we'll see how he does. And then when it comes to Brevin Stanford, I think, with him, he's going to be a guy that can push off one of our starters. One of our 53-man guys, like Peyton Hendershot. I think he's in danger. I think right now, my early prediction at the tight end is Ferguson, Schoonmaker, John Stevens Jr., and this guy here, Ford, right? So I think that we're going to be, I personally think the Cowboys will be, in good shape when it comes to, our guys like this. And, I just like Spanford's ability to, be a blocker and a red zone threat. This being another offensive lineman that can catch the ball. He's not going to catch it too often, but when he does, he could be a mismatch. So that's my hope with him going forward. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on these two guys, because the rest are going to fly through it. And it'll be at the end of our stream.
Roos said he can run block like a mofo.
Yeah, he will lunge, second level stuff at linebacker. Sometimes he'll miss blocks, but for the most part, being undrafted and a tight end, fantastic run blocker. I'm assuming Schoonmaker is much better, but this guy is like the backup to Schoonmaker almost.
Now, Iceberg Slim said, Hendershot and Schoonmaker can no longer hide behind politics.
Yep.
Dallas is replacing them. You're damn right, I'm glad.
Yeah, hey, one of them's going to lose their job, and it's not going to be Schoonmaker. He's a second-round pick. It's going to be Peyton Hendershot, who was undrafted a couple of years ago. Remember that. So.
And Mr. Seabass, again, everyone is entitled to their opinion, whether we agree with it or highly disagree with it.
Oh, sorry, what is he saying, though? Is he saying,
no, please.
No, is he saying it's like a good thing about the tight end or a bad thing? I'm not sure. That's why I'm kind of lost in it. But
had nothing to do with tight ends.
Oh, okay.
So
that's all good. Will McClay, I think. Anyways, you're seeing these two guys here. We got, again, two out of the 12 undrafteds. You're seeing the reason. One, we don't have a running back at all, and the other one is a tight end that's just too good to pass up. So now what about the rest of the guys? Another tight end was brought in from UCF, Alec Holler, 23 years old. 6'2" and 7/8 inches, 6'3", 242 pounds. So you see, he's like 20 pounds lighter, a couple inches shorter. So he played 5 years for UCF. Did not see the field in his first 2 of his 5 years. But again, in his career, his last 3 years, 715 yards, 6 touchdowns in his career. He was also the team captain last year in 2023. Caught 22 passes for 225 yards and 2 touchdowns. Turned a walk-on college career into a scholarship. And now he has an NFL opportunity here to make the practice squad. He is not going to make the starting team. That's just not going to happen. But practice squad very, very much could make that push for it. We'll see how he does. He was a walk-on in UCF. Shit. So Cam Johnson, we're going to stay on offense. Receivers. Cam Johnson, receiver from Northwestern, 25 years old. He's just straight up 6 feet, 202 pounds. He played 4 years at Vanderbilt before transferring to Arizona State for the 2022 season, then transferred again to Northwestern last year. He accumulated 2,023 yards and 16 touchdowns in his basically, 6 years, I think, in college. Again, COVID made a lot of these guys red-shirted and that kind of stuff. So, again, another guy with a lot of yardage and production, but this time at receiver as the undrafted here. So, Cam Johnson. We also got Corey Crooms Jr., receiver from Minnesota, also 23 years old, 5'11", 187 pounds, so a smaller guy. He played 4 years at Western Michigan, and then he transferred to Minnesota. Also, a lot of numbers for him, guys. Again, 5 years, 2,146 yards and 12 touchdowns, most of which came not from Minnesota, from Western Michigan. He also was a teammate at Western Michigan of our second-round pick from Western Michigan. Yeah, defensive edge rusher Marshawn Nealon. So they will know each other when they meet up for the rookie OTAs next week. Now, this is one of the better guys that we also go into the top. This is the second best kind of rated guy we got in the undrafteds. Safety from Nevada, Emily Johnson. He's 23 years old. He's 6'2", 218 pounds. He's a bigger guy that can lay the lick down there. So, spent 5 years, all 5 years at Nevada, and he played 1,514 snaps on defense. So he has experience, and he's been basically a 4-year guy there. Had an 82.5 PFF coverage grade in his final season. He had 89 tackles and 3 interceptions in his career as well. So he's a tackling machine as well. Again, he's bigger, almost 220. So again, guys, at 6'2". So that's a nice safety right there that can maybe make the practice squad, possibly. This is a highly ranked guy of the undrafted group, probably the second highest ranked guy. So Emily Jones on defense. You can see, we're going to defense now. We're almost done. Julius Wood, another safety from East Carolina, 21 years old. 6'1", 193 pounds. Not as big as the other guy, so this guy's more of maybe a coverage style guy. Played only 3 years for East Carolina, but out of those 3 years, he started in the last 2 seasons. He also had 131 tackles, 4 interceptions over his college career in 3 years. A heavy hitter, even though he's not as big, a heavy hitter. And he led the East Carolina Pirates in tackles the last 2 seasons. So it wasn't the linebacker, it wasn't the edge rusher, it was Julius Wood who laid the wood. So to me, this guy is more of a coverage guy, but can really help in the run game. And we're talking about practice squad here.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real about this. So again, heavy hitter, led his college team in tackles, and he's playing safety. Also had interceptions last year, 2 interceptions last year with East Carolina. So got the Julius Wood, another guy, probably practice squad, but has the skills to definitely make this team as far as practice squad is concerned. No real room for him at the 53-man safety spot. Cornerback. Let's go to corner. Now we're going to go back to the defensive line here and end it. But at cornerback, we got Josh DeBerry, the only cornerback of the undrafted from Texas A&M, 23 years old, 5'11" and 184 pounds. Little light there, a little short. Spent his first 4 seasons at Boston College, then headed to Texas A&M for his final season. And again, when you look at his last year at Boston College, which was like his best year, had a 68.6 PFF coverage grade with Texas A&M, and then a 58.1 grade in his last year at Boston College. So, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. He actually improved from Boston College and had his best year last year with Texas A&M. So, we'll see if that improvement continues for Josh DeBerry. Jason Johnson, linebacker from UCF, 23 years old. He's a guy to keep an eye on as well. 6 foot half inch. 228 pounds, spent 3 years at Eastern Illinois, then transferred to UCF and played 3,041 defensive snaps in his entire career. Also accumulated 327 tackles and 43 pressures over his 5 seasons in both schools. So a guy to keep an eye on, pressure linebacker type guy. Almost done here, guys. 3 guys to go. Brock Morganson, linebacker from South Dakota. All right, keep an eye on him too. Kind of the lower ranked guys on this list, but 24 years old, 6 foot, a little over 6'2", 235 pounds. Another one of these 6-year experienced players. The Cowboys are loading up on experienced players in these undrafted. 6-year player, played 2,716 snaps on defense for South Dakota and 270 snaps on special teams for them. So a total of 250 tackles and 32 pressures over his career. And he's a 2-time captain as well. That has a total combined 219 tackles the last 2 seasons for the South Dakota Coyotes, and was also the FCS All-American. Was an FCS All-American last season. So Brock Morganson, another linebacker, keep an eye on him. He might be your last linebacker to play special teams. And then we'll go to the defensive line to end it here. 1 edge and 1 interior guy. An edge rusher from Baylor named Byron Vaughns, 23 years old, 6'4", 225 pounds, spent 2 years at Texas, 2 years at Utah State, and his last year was at Baylor. He ended up with 76 pass rush pressures, 11 sacks, and 92 tackles over his 5-year collegiate career. Again, we have like 3 6-year guys, and like the rest of these guys are like 5-year guys. I think 1 or 2 are 4-year guys. I think we had 1 3-year guy in the undrafted, a couple 4-year guys, a bunch of 5-year guys, and a couple of 6-year guys. That's a lot of experience as like, rookie undrafted guys. Keep that. The Cowboys are doing this. I think this is a done on purpose kind of situation with the undrafted guys. Getting older guys undrafted can give you a little more experience than you might not expect. And you get into practices and they develop going forward in the NFL. So this guy here, Byron Vaughns, he graduated from Eastern Hills High School in Fort Worth. So he's known in the area. Has a long frame, 35-inch arms, 84-inch wingspan. Also played, like I said, Utah State and Texas. And at Texas is where he and DeMarvion Overshone were teammates. So he comes into town, Byron Vaughns, knowing his buddy there, DeMarvion Overshone, when he played with the Texas Longhorns. And the last guy on a defensive line, a defensive tackle, I'm thinking he's more of a 3-tech type, Denzel Daxon, defensive tackle from Illinois. Why do I say that? He's 23 years old, but he's 6'2" and only 318 pounds. That's maybe a 1-tech, definitely a 3-tech. Played 4 years at Ohio and then transferred to Illinois. So another 5-year guy. Had 26 tackles over his career at nose tackle, and that's where he started. He started at nose tackle every game for Illinois in 2023. In the NFL, it might be a lot more difficult. At best for him, I see him being a practice squatter, especially because we got Justin Rogers in the 7th round, and he's like 350 pounds. So right there on that, he's got like 30 pounds on him. I think it's going to be tough for this undrafted guy to challenge another almost undrafted guy. We'll see. I believe Justin Rogers and Denzel Daxon will fight it out for one of those last defensive tackle spots on this team. Interior, 1-tech. Will it be Mozzie, and who's behind him? That's what we're going to find out with this, I think. Now, Daxon is a Bahamas native who reportedly did not play organized football until age 17. The Cowboys are embracing untapped potential in athletes who arrived later to football, not just in all these picks. Tyler Guyton came in like high school. He really started playing it in his last year, senior in high school. It was when he first started playing football. He was defensive tackle or end. He played tight end in college for a year or whatever, and then became full-time offensive tackle. But a lot of these guys, the Cowboys are testing with kind of an untapped potential kind of situation with this Denzel Daxon. The thing that's good about this, though, is that the Cowboys are bringing in athletes, taking chances on undrafted guys. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't want to see as many big chances in the draft. I want to see chances with undrafted guys. And that's what the Cowboys are doing that. And that's being done with the guy on your screen, Will McClay, running the show on that side of things. We'll see. Again, I gave you names like Marquise Bell, Wanye Thomas, Peyton Hendershot, TJ Bass, Brock Hoffman. All of these guys are brought in because of this guy on your screen. I'm not saying they're superstars. I'm saying they're undrafted, diamonds in the rough. And that's just the last couple of years. That's this guy. Give him his due respect. That's all I'm going to leave it at that. He's not perfect, but damn, he's saving this team from being a lot worse. Them's facts, baby. Anyways, that's my breakdown, baby, on everything we heard. Will McClay break it down? You broke it down. I broke it down. Shit, you guys broke it down, especially Mark Hovsepian breaking it down and leaving Zachary Carrasco with 10 points on the stream boss. He's hanging on. As we wrap this up tonight, guys, their last chance to drop the love, try to get that top spot. But more importantly, we appreciate your drops of knowledge in the chat all night long. Cannot do this without your thoughts about our team, our Cowboys, going forward. So again, any last comments from you, baby, before we hit the chat up? Any comments from you about any of our drafted guys? Anything that sticks out for you? Or just kind of...
No, all good on my side. Let me go ahead and hit up a few comments here in the chat. Iceberg Slim said, that's why Dallas hit on their hitting some of their undrafted players that they invested in.
Correct. Will McClay is the reason. Thank you.
Louis Ortiz said, Will got the skills to give me chills. Yeah. Ruse just making it clear, no, Zeke has not officially signed yet, although that is the expectation that he will be shortly.
Not signed yet. No matter who's telling you that, it's not official. He hasn't signed, and it hasn't been announced even. Yep, people try to beat it to the punch, and try to get, hey, I did it first. Guys, no one's going to get an award for this. Just get it right. Right now, we should get the award because we're keeping it real. Zeke has not been signed yet.
No, the man Seabass said, I can't wait for Overshone to come back.
Me too. That's a bonus player in my mind. Bonus player.
It really does feel like we got an extra draft pick this year.
Yeah. I mean, it does. Unfortunately, he would have been a second-year guy with a bigger physique right now with the offseason training with Cowboys. Not if he didn't have to do the rehabbing thing.
That's
now,
why it feels more like we got an extra pick this year. You know, it's like he's
so it is a rookie.
drafted.
Yeah, he's basically a rookie. Exactly. Yeah, you're right. I agree.
So, although hopefully that year with the Cowboys gives them, a bit of an edge there.
I agree. You usually know the playbook. You know the feel. You don't have those jitters that you had as a rookie. So, just gotta be confident now in that ACL. That's the biggest thing to get over. We hope he does.
So, with that said, guys, again, huge shout out to every single person here chilling, hanging with us. There's still some people we have to shout out, isn't there, baby?
Yeah, I mean, we got, of course, the people running the boards here. Like the sponsor of the week, the man, McLovin. You see him there, the sponsor of the week.
Love.
Yes, he has gotten really 3 weeks, but it's actually two actual weeks that we've done this, and he's back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys, champion style. But that's not the only place he's winning with first place. He's also got the Cash App crown right on my head. He's the Cash App king for also 2 weeks in a row, back-to-back, like our 90s Cowboys. Zachary Carrasco. Zachary's still hanging on with 10 points. Looks like he's going to be leading us into the new week and now into the Dallas Cowboy free agency, which starts tomorrow at 4 p.m. because that's when there's no comp picks affected by any signings tomorrow. So get ready. Not that we're going to sign someone tomorrow, but starting tomorrow, it really starts the Cowboys free agent period in that way. So McLovin, he's been loving the top spot for 2 full weeks in a row, but he's not going to rep it next week, baby. Next week, going into the Joneses free agency period, it's going to be the man for the first time, SCO971.
Ooh,
Much
way to
love.
Go, Sco.
He's going to be our sponsor of the week and another crownage, that Cash App crown. So big shout outs to SCO971, his first time getting that top spot. And Zachary, like I said, Zachary Carrasco is going to hold at 10 points, it looks like, to tomorrow's stream, kicking off a new week. But don't forget, the membership gifting champion. Back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys, the great Jason Renfro.
That's right.
And it looks like he has enough. Nobody jumped in there, so he will do it for 3 straight weeks in a row. Unless someone drops 2 gifted memberships as we're getting out of here, Jason Renfro is going to go for a 3-peat right now as the champion, the king of the membership gifting board. So much love to everybody repping these boards. Everyone's showing out on the boards, but also this whole week with the drops of love, and also those that experienced watched it and did the whole draft experience here with us. Even though we had to do it a little differently this time, we truly appreciate everybody's input, everyone's 2 cents on this thing, and your thoughts and views on our Cowboys is what makes us learn, and you guys learn. We all learn together here, and that's what it's about here on My Cowboys Family. So big shout outs to all the champions on these boards, and to you guys in the chat. Which baby, let's shout them out. Who's in the house as we roll out?
Yeah, we have Ruse, Iceberg Slim, El Cool, Luis Ortiz, C Bass, Rolando Rodriguez. Let me see. I tend to rage quit, and yes, we definitely are hoping that ACL goes well. The man C Bass, Asmodeus. Let me see.
Yeah, and as you can, as I see here,
Asmodeus.
Yeah. Oh, you put the raffle in there, and you see the information on the raffle. But yeah, that's going to continue probably next week until we do our this raffle in a week or 2. So you have more time to get in this and even build up some raffle entries. Brought to you by the Lunatic. You can win a sewn and stitched authentic like jersey, and there's going to be 2 winners winning a jersey each. $10 per raffle entry once you're in. If you have a membership at any level, you get a bonus raffle entry. And if you want to put another 10 on top of that, another 10 on top of that, you're building up more raffle entries to up your chances to win one of these jerseys that you get to choose if what's available from our stock. And it's about 30 or 40 different players. So different styles and sizes, eras, Hall of Famers, new and old. We'll see who you guys want. We'll see the winners coming soon. But it's a race building up with these drops. They're building up the raffle entries as we speak.
That's right.
So much love to the Lunatic and everybody, the Lunatic and everyone else who's in this raffle coming up soon.
Appreciate you all, and of course, there is only one reason why we do what we do here at MCF.
You know it. What is it, baby? Tell us.
It's that navy blue.
Yeah.
That silver too.
Hell yeah.
And that star over everything.
I'm looking, yeah. Guys, win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly here. We always rep the star over everything here on MCF. Here on My Cowboys Family on YouTube for almost 7 years, rocking this thing almost on the nightly every night. Never forget, the number one thing here, now, and forever on My Cowboys Family. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. That's all I got to say. Thank you all in the chat. Rolando Rodriguez, Lacey Williams, Luis Ortiz, Seabass, Ruse, everybody. Thank you for dropping your knowledge in the chat all night long. All night. Go over to the After Dark. We're going to have a little party over there at night on the After Dark side of things. I'll even drop the eyeball so you can see what I'm talking about. And, just you can search MCF After Dark. If you can deal with a little bit of, language, asshole attitude, panels, some offensive stuff sometimes on there. You never know. Just saying, if you guys want to do it, that's the place to go to if you want the late night fun. Mr. After Dark just posted in there. So we'll see some of you guys there. Thank you all for dropping the knowledge in the chat, and truly appreciate you guys that dropped the love from above tonight specifically. Jason Renfro, Skeptical Fan, and the man Marco Seppian, who made a run at the top of the board here tonight and almost got to the top for first place, and just came up a little short. But appreciate you all for dropping the love. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. Should be here tomorrow. We should be back tomorrow. And if not, we'll be back Tuesday for sure. But the Cowboys, they're running with very little news, and so we're gonna kind of keep up with whatever they get put out. You know what I mean, guys? But keep it up. Make sure your notification bell is on to all videos, so we're gonna go live. If you follow us on Twitter or any of these other places, that's how you'll know we go live. We post there as well to remind you guys on Discord and Twitter that we're going live at around 12:30 Eastern time or 12 o'clock Eastern time or whatever it may be. So make sure you do all those things. Hit the like, subscribe, and the bell. Guys, thank you for rocking with us here and dropping the knowledge, dropping the love. But here now it's time to drop out and clock out for the night. Relock and reload for the true free agency for these Joneses in the front office tomorrow. And baby, before we can officially drop out of here for the evening, for the night, and kick off a brand new week tomorrow, tell everybody what we got to do before we drop on the hell out of here.
We gotta drop the beat.
Oh yeah, beat's been dropped. This draft has been dropped. And hey, B+ for me. Add those undrafteds in there. There's a couple diamonds in the rough. You know what McClay will bring out in them. I'm relatively happy about this draft. For now. It could be a disaster. We'll have to wait and see. It could be the best draft ever. We gotta wait and see. Thank you all for waiting and seeing with us. And appreciate everybody. Everybody is taking part in this thing as we wrap up, every night here we wrap up a full day of news, info, and updates on another MCF Cowboys chat. Hell yeah. You can see the little MCF undrafted free agent tracker, which we discussed tonight in detail. We'll get more into that, I'm sure, and the other rookies throughout this entire offseason. Hey, and these OTAs are starting soon for the rookies in a week or so. So these guys you're seeing right now, I just talked about, will be on the field first before any of the vets doing true kind of workout acclimation kind of stuff. We'll talk about that more tomorrow and in this upcoming week. Here in MCF, it's a wrap. It's about that navy blue, silver 2, star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing right here in My Cowboys Family. Thank you all, you guys, for rocking the house with us on the nightly. Make sure you don't forget to hit that like button for the stream, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to all videos so you know exactly when we're going to go live. Following us on Twitter at MyCowboysFamily, knowing where we're at on Discord. All that information is in the description down below. If you're watching this in a replay, put a comment down in the comment section. We'll try to answer it, or at least hear what you got to say. And of course, don't forget to hit the like button and all the good stuff too. Thank you all for rocking with us. Appreciate you all. Stay safe. See you for a new week starting tomorrow. And never ever forget, go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat.